Welcome to Sylvan Lake, the Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Without further delay, Gulls baseball fan, let's welcome the first ever coach in our history, Jason Chatwood.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Well, a flip of the script. Usually it's sunny as we get to game time and then the clouds roll in. Today the clouds rolled out and it's now sunny as we get to game time. I can't figure out Mother Nature, and I don't even want to bother trying, okay? It's been a weird season. She's had the last say in a lot of games. Rainouts, we had this game started the other night, and we went one inning and then waited for several minutes. I pause on saying minutes because it seemed like a while. But we finally got a game here with the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Lethbridge Bulls, and it was a good one the other night. 8-0, the Gulls pulled it out, but in that game, as we see the highlights here, as Anthony Gilbert had himself quite a night. That's one of his RBIs, and there's the other one. He had 3 on the night. Pretty much everybody had a game, and there's Josh Tucker getting strikeout number 300 of his WCBL career. He added 4 more on the night. Anthony Gilbert wielding the hot bat again as he knocks in one more run, as I mentioned. Well, here comes the second one. That is a 3 RBI night for Anthony Gilbert, as the Gulls just rang up hit after hit and run after run against a good Lethbridge Bulls team. After the game was rained out here, they had to go down to Lethbridge and play that game. So that was game 1. Jacob Rochelle, Sunshine, comes in, grabs the ball off the ground, fires it over, and that is the final out of the game. So the Gulls posting an 8-0 win. Now, don't let that fool you, because these Lethbridge Bulls will definitely remember that, and they're here to play. They don't want their season to end tonight. Of course, the Gulls have other ideas. On the mound tonight will be Josh Dolich, young man from Texas, and we've got Josh Tucker's 300th strikeout, and that is a milestone. There is Mr. Tucker, and there's the pitch right there, a called third strike. And we slow it down and hit right down the center. His off-speed stuff. Now this is good stuff for Josh Tucker. Josh Dolich, the other Josh on the roster, he takes the mound tonight for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. A young man from Texas. We got to like him. Spring, Texas is where he's from. Very polite, tall, drink of water. And he gets the honor of throwing to this lineup with Bernie Sakaris, the top hitter in the WCBL. Then you got Matt Sasaki, Claire Hout, Kaliski, Andrechik, McTavish, Bernal, Turner, and J.C. Spinoza. This lineup has been pretty static for the whole season almost. So these guys, they're veterans, and they know what they're doing out there. And Mr. Dolich will have his hands full with this lineup. Don't let that 8-0 win by the Gulls down in Lethbridge last night fool you. These guys have got lots of pop in their bat, and they've got lots of pride in their dugout. They won't just lie down on this one. So, first guy up, Bernie Sakaris. First pitch swinging, and he fouls that out of play. And we are underway in Game 2 of this WCBL playoff between the Lethbridge Bulls and your Sylvan Lake Gulls. Thank you for joining us. Jim Claggett here on FloCollege, flying solo. My partner is out with other duties. And Dolich comes in with the off-speed and is ahead 0-2 on Sakaris, who is the left fielder tonight. And he misses outside for that one. The count 1-2 now. Bernie Sakaris and Lee Matsuzaki and Carter Clairhout, the 1-2-3 hitters for the Lethbridge Bulls. And that's grounded down to first. A good play there by Cleary Simpson. He's going to take it himself. And just like that, the defense helps out the pitcher with a solid defensive play over at first base by Cleary Simpson. He says, no, I got this. Boom. Tags the bag. And that's one down. That'll bring up Lee Matsuzaki, the right fielder for the Lethbridge Bulls. This is going to be fun. I'm here by myself. There's nobody here to keep me in line. That can either be a really good thing or a really dangerous thing. We're going to find out, folks. You're coming with me on this ride, so buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy night. Want to know the count on Matsuzaki. And that's into the glove. A soft liner down to second base, and Jaden Flores makes the grab for the second out. A little soft contact there. Jaden Flores playing it just right. And we are 2 down here with Carter Clairhout coming up. Ron Shuchuk is the crew chief. He is behind home plate. Brad Johnston down the first base line, and Mike Richards over at third.
First baseman number 23, Carter Clairhout.
And Clairhout, first pitch swinging. He sends this right out to right field. And Simon Baker is out there and brings it in. So Clairhout gets a base runner here with 2 out and a single. A good swing there. And I see walking through the crowd tonight, Carter Clairhout's dad, Paul, who played here in this area with the Red Deer Riggers, the senior men's team here. He is in the presence of his young son out here to watch the game. That'll bring up Jack Kaliski, the designated hitter. Regular season, Kaliski with 10 home runs, 47 RBIs, one of the more dangerous hitters in the Bulls lineup. And Dolich misses down low. In behind Josh Dolich out in left field is Michael Quick. Kyle Lewis in center, and Simon Baker is the right fielder. Anthony Gilbert and Ty Yukamoto on the left side of the infield. And a called strike there. 2-1 the count. On the right-hand side, Jaden Flores and Cleary Simpson. The designated hitter tonight, Brock Tiarina. And behind home plate, the man who caught Josh Tucker's 300th strikeout, Trip Ray. That misses down low. 3-1 the count on Kaliski. Steven Andrechik is the batter on deck. And that is sky high over in foul territory. Anthony Gilbert now leans back in towards the playing field, but makes the catch over at third base. And that will be the third out of the inning, a pop-up to the third baseman, Gilbert. So Josh Dolich escapes by just giving up the one base hit. Gulls will be coming to bat.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected. Because it truly is. And it's all we think about. So you don't have to.
Well, welcome back. The Lethbridge Bulls take the mound. Levi Abbott is their starting pitcher. He was the starter on the night that we got rained out on the Wednesday night. He had thrown just the one inning and had done quite well, actually, because it was a 3-up, 3-down inning for him. This is the lineup he's going to face tonight, pretty much the same that he was facing Wednesday. A little difference. Trip Ray was in 7th and Michael Quick was 6th. They flipped spots. And Mariuch, very much the same lineup here with the Gulls tonight facing Levi Abbott. Of course, Tai Yukimoto will lead things off, as he has done so many times. First pitch swinging, or he waits it out. We'll see how he's feeling tonight with Levi Abbott on the mound. And first pitch, he is in for a strike. And you know Abbott is going to be around the plate, so first pitch swinging might be a thing to do with Levi Abbott. He did have 69 strikeouts on the season. And Yukimoto watches that go down low for a ball. Cleary Simpson is on deck, and Jaden Flores is the number 3 batter. That misses outside. 2-1 the count on Yukimoto. A decent crowd here for game number 2 in this best of 3 WCBL semifinal between the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Lethbridge Bulls. And Yukimoto fouls this out of play. Evens the count at 2-2. And that's grounded down to second base. And Steven Andrzejczyk up with it and over. And gets Yukimoto over at first for the first out. That'll bring up the first baseman, Cleary Simpson. He had a good playoff game the other night. I've got stats somewhere. I'll get them. It's one of those nights, folks. It usually is. But I do have stuff here. I can tell you what Cleary did. He scored 3 times. He walked 3 times. And he had a base hit. So a good evening down in Lethbridge for Cleary Simpson. And he fouls that back against the screen. He's down 0-2 against Levi Abbott. Oh, 2 count on Simpson. And he checks his swing. They're going to check down to third base. And Mike Richards says, nope, he did not go. The count sits at 1-2 now. Cleary Simpson headed off to Marshall College next season, as is his sister. She's down there. Paige is down there. And if you think Marshall sounds familiar, you say, where have I heard that name before? Well, many, many years ago, they had a terrible, terrible situation down in Marshall where their football team was on a plane coming home from a game, and it crashed, killing all members of the football team. And Simpson grounds out to second base, so Andrzejczyk with back-to-back plays, and he makes them both. Nice and smooth. Simple. That's all you need, right? Jaden Flores steps in now against Levi Abbott. Flores with a couple of RBIs in last night's 8-0 win. The Gulls scoring 6 runs earned, 2 unearned runs for the 8-0 victory over Lethbridge in Game 1. So now Game 2 tonight, and should the Lethbridge Bulls win this game and even up the series, Game 3 will be tomorrow night. I'm not even going to talk about the weather. Flores sends this out. Heads up in the truck, guys. And it missed you. Okay. I'm getting better at that. I don't have anybody to fall back on. Kale's supposed to watch for those. Nope. That would be me. The 0-2 pitch to Flores, and he sends this a little looper out towards left field, and it drops in out of the glove reach of J.C. Spinoza, the shortstop. And Flores keeps the inning going with a single. This is kind of like what the Bulls did, 2 outs and then a base hit. That'll bring up Anthony Gilbert, who had a 3 RBI night down in Lethbridge last night. I asked him coming into the building, I said, so, the ball looking pretty big? He says, yeah. He says, you still got to make the swing, though. He says, you can't be swinging 110%. You still got to stay in control and make the swing, even though you're seeing the ball well. And they check down at first base, and Brad Johnston says, nope, he did not check his swing. He did come around, so first pitch is a strike. Designated hitter Brock Tiarina is on deck. And Flores takes off for second base. And a steal by Jaden Flores puts himself in scoring position here in the bottom of the first inning with 2 out. And the count 1-1 on Anthony Gilbert. Flores getting a good jump on that. And he swipes the base quite easily, actually. And Anthony Gilbert is going to send this into right center, and that will score the first run of the game for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. As that stolen base turns out to be profitable for the Gulls, as Anthony Gilbert drives in the first run of the game. And he doesn't get that if Jaden Flores doesn't steal that base. So nice base hit by Gilbert, who is wielding a hot bat lately. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Brock Tiarina, who always seems to hit the ball hard no matter where it goes. Fair, foul, in somebody's glove, at somebody, or out of the park, or in the gaps. Doesn't matter. He doesn't get cheated. And Anthony Gilbert's going to try his luck, and I don't know that he got there. No, a good throw there by Adonis Bernal. And a good tag by J.C. Spinoza. So the Gulls try it once and it worked. Try it a second time, it didn't. 1-0 Sylvan Lake leads, though, after one complete. And Bulls coming to bat.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday night. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
Well, welcome back. Postseason 2025 in the WCBL. And I like this this board here. Unfortunately, they got Lethbridge with one win there. And no, they don't, folks. Sylvan's got that one win there. As you can see on the other side of the coin, the Brooks Bombers went out in 2 straight against Okotoks. And on the other side of the coin, Moose Jaw and Saskatchewan tied at 1 each, and Regina sweeping Medicine Hat. So they've moved on to the second round. No matter who you face at this time of year, folks, they're going to give you their best. And that's what makes playoffs so much fun. Steven Andrechik leads things off here for the Bulls in the top of the second inning. 1-0 Sylvan Lake. Josh Dolich on the mound for Sylvan Lake. And a nice pitch there. He gives a good mix of pitches. A young right-hander from Spring, Texas. And that's popped up into shallow left field, and Kyle Lewis calls off Michael Quick and takes charge of that one and records the first out. Good communication there. As you can see, Michael Quick was all the way over, and then he heard his partner and he went, gotcha, put the brakes on, and Kyle Lewis took charge and took that ball. That'll bring up the center fielder, Brendan McTavish. That first pitch is missing for a ball. McTavish was held off the bases in last night's game, which is a good thing. He's got some wheels. He can steal, and he's got a pretty decent bat. In fact, I think the one game here earlier this year, he laid down a perfect bunt and beat it out by quite a bit. And he sends this right back up the middle to start things off with a base hit for himself on the evening. With one down, the Bulls have a base runner. And that's right back up the center. That'll bring up the catcher, Adonis Bernal. He had a couple of hits last night, and 2 for 4 in the game. And Dolich starts him off with an off-speed pitch missing for a ball. McTavish, the base runner, over at first. And there's going to be the easiest double play Cleary Simpson's going to have in a while. Yes, that was right to him, and McTavish had nowhere to go. He was in no man's land right there. As this little soft contact off the end of the bat, boom, and Cleary just waits and said, yep, I got you. That's the end of the inning. 3 up, 3 down, 1-0 Gulls lead it. They're coming to bat.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field, the friend next door with your family in the next town, the dealership with the ice cream shop. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is. And it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
Welcome back. Well, before the game, I had a chance to talk to this young man, veteran left-hander Josh Tucker. Here's that interview.
Yeah, I kind of knew we were getting close. I went into the outing only needing 4 strikeouts. I was kind of nervous, but in reality, I knew I was going to go up there and I was going to compete, do my best. But
yeah, and he did his best. In fact, these last 4 starts for Josh Tucker, and I'm trying to just remember the numbers here. I think he had 15 strikeouts, or 14 in the one game. He had 12 the next game. He had 10 after that, and he had 8. He has just developed into just a force. And each person that I talked to tonight before the game, they said he was absolutely amazing down in Lethbridge. Well, that's good to hear. And not if you're a Lethbridge Bull batter, I guess, but it's good for Gulls fans. Brock Tiarina will lead things off. He is the designated hitter. He was at the plate when Anthony Gilbert got thrown out at second. for the third out of the inning. But Gilbert can look back and go, okay, yeah, I got thrown out second, but I also drove in the only run so far. So, and Tiarina holds up. Oh, and they called that. Yeah. Mike Richards over at third said, yep, he went around. So 1-2 the count now on Tiarina. Leading things off here in the bottom of the second inning with Michael Quick on deck. That misses outside. Trip Ray is the catcher, and he is the third man scheduled to face Levi Abbott here in the bottom of the second. And Tiarina has battled back to a full count now. It's one of the top pitchers in the WCBL, Levi Abbott. 7 wins on the year. And that misses. Oh, okay. And Brock Tiarina has a couple of words for home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk, and we can see why. And a called third strike on Tiarina. It sends him to the dugout, and it was one of those slow calls, but it was made, and that sits him down. That'll bring up Michael Quick, the left fielder. And that's in for a called strike. 1-1 now on the Gulls left fielder, Michael Quick from Oshawa, Ontario. Shout out to our Eastern brethren. And Quick swings right through that one. 1-2 now. The fans are still trickling in tonight to catch this game, game 2 of this playoff series. And a strikeout there, back-to-back for Levi Abbott. As that drops right out on Michael Quick. That'll bring up the catcher, Trip Ray, with 2 down. The Gulls with a 1-0 lead here.
The catcher, number 13.
In the bottom of the second inning. An RBI single by Anthony Gilbert in the first. Ray misses, or watches that go outside. And he sends this right back up the middle. Second baseman Andrechik with the ball and the throw. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Bulls and Levi Abbott. And the Gulls with a 1-0 lead. Lethbridge coming to bat in the top of the third. Top of the third inning for Josh Dolich from Spring, Texas, as he gets set to face the 8-9-1 batters in the Bulls lineup. Will Turner will lead things off. And he starts Turner off with a pitch down low for a ball. The third baseman, Turner, takes that pitch down low as well. Turner was 0 for 3 last night in the 8-0 loss to the Gulls. And Dolich 3-0 now. He's missed down low on each of those 3 pitches. And taking all the way was Will Turner, and he took all 4 pitches, in fact. Didn't get his bat off his shoulder, and takes the walk down to first base to have a base runner on the bases for J.C. Spinoza, as Dolich looking to just settle down a little bit here. And a throw down there by Trip Ray, but Turner gets back in good time. And Leroy Tavares is getting loose in the dugout. So the leash will probably be very short for everybody tonight on the pitching mound. And Anthony Gilbert makes the play. And a good heads-up play by Tai Yukamoto. He was over at second thinking that he might get the throw. And nobody was covering third because Anthony Gilbert made that play. So Yukamoto went over to third and made the play, or at least covered the bag. So heads up there by number 8. But they do get the out over at first base. But the sacrifice works for the Lethbridge Bulls. They now have a base runner over at second. And the top of the order, Bernie Sakaris. And that is a one-hopper to Jaden Flores, who handles it perfectly. And makes the play to Cleary Simpson for the second out. That moves Sakaris over to third. But 2 out now for Josh Dolich after giving up the leadoff walk on 4 pitches. And I know talking to the coaching staff before the game on Wednesday night that only went 1 inning, I said, what's the strategy without getting too deep into it as far as the bullpen and the pitching? He said, everybody is available. So if a guy comes in and has to pitch to one guy, a guy will come in and pitch to one guy. And same thing with the bench. It's all hands on deck for the Sylvan Lake Gulls here in the playoffs. And I'm sure it's the same for every other team. And that is a one-hopper to Tai Yukamoto, who misplays it over at short. You don't see that very often. And Matsuzaki is over at first. I'm not sure if he thought he just kind of short-hopped him there, and that's a difficult play for the shortstop. But it does bring a run in, so we are now tied at 1 on that play by Matsuzaki and Tai Yukamoto. And that'll bring up Carter Clairhout, who had a base hit in the first inning. And they will give an error to Matsuzaki on that play. That's grounded down to Anthony Gilbert over at third. And that scoots under the glove of Cleary Simpson. And the Gulls are doing it to themselves right here with mistakes, as Josh Dolich induced the ground ball to Anthony Gilbert. And that just gets under the glove of Cleary Simpson. as that would have been the third out. So a couple of errors by the Gulls defense, and Matt Hape is going to make a visit to the mound here to talk to his pitcher and maybe just settle everybody down, because everybody's coming in on this meeting here. And I think it might be not a specific meeting for one player. It might be a general meeting for everybody. Say, hey, guys, let's just calm down here. And Josh, you keep doing what you're doing. And defense, let's tighten up a little bit. There, I just made the speech. I'm not reading lips, folks. That's not what he's saying. So the error was actually to Anthony Gilbert. I said Tai Yukamoto, but I guess they did. Well, they didn't. There's 2 errors up there on the board now. That's true. And Josh Golich facing Jack Kaliski, as Carter Clairhout is the base runner over at second. And Lee Matsuzaki is over at third. One and one the count on Kaliski. Tough situation here for the Gulls. Dolich ahead 1-2 now. Trying to limit the damage to just the 1 run. With runners on second and third with 2 down. Kaliski popped up in foul territory to the third baseman, Anthony Gilbert. That misses outside. Count now 2-2. And that's fouled well out of play. Sends a bunch of young men running for that ball. And why not? A baseball is a baseball, right? And one that's been used in games of a WCBL playoff, why not? That's a good ball to have. And Dolich takes a lot off of that pitch. Big looping curveball that misses. The count now full on Kaliski, with Steven Andrechik, the second baseman, on deck. And basically the same pitch. And the bases are now loaded. Now, one can speculate whether they were being careful with the home run power of Kaliski, and maybe not as much home run power in Steven Andrechik. So maybe wanting to pitch to him instead. Be careful with Kaliski. If you get him, great. If not, we have an open base and another right-hander. And Dolich comes in with the fastball but misses down low. Bases loaded, 2 out. 1-1 Gulls and Bulls here in Game 2 of the WCBL playoff. And Yukamoto backs up on that one, makes the play, and Josh Dolich gets out of that jam by giving just the 1 run on the 2 errors. And we are all tied up at 1 apiece here as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bottom of the third inning, Levi Abbott so far has a few strikeouts, 2 strikeouts in fact, in the second inning, and just given up the 1 run and 2 base hits. So he's locked up in a pitcher's duel with Josh Dolich, and he'll face Simon Baker and Kyle Lewis, and then the top of the order, Tai Yukamoto. Here in the bottom of the third inning, and first pitch is in for a strike. He's just checking. He's just checking on that location of that pitch. An off-speed pitch there lands in for a strike. 0-2 the count on Simon Baker. And Levi Abbott gets the strikeout, but the catcher, Bernal, doesn't hang on to it, has to throw it down to first base. So it's still a strikeout. That's 3 on the night for Levi Abbott. Kyle Lewis, the center fielder, steps in now to face the Gulls or Bulls pitcher. That misses down low for a ball. One big cloud rolling in, and that's pretty much it right now. I think we're going to be okay. Of course, every time I say that, so maybe I should just not say anything. I won't. 2-0 the count. That's what I'll say. That was a called strike there by home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk. 2-1 now on Lewis. That misses down low, or no, that is called a strike down low. The count now even. That's grounded down to first, and Carter Clairhout, sure glove, scoops it up, steps on the bag himself for the second out. Off the end of the bat and into the glove of Clairhout. That'll bring up the top of the order, number 8, Tai Yukamoto. Good work there by Clairhout over at first. 2 down, 1-1 game here between the Gulls and the Bulls. Game 2 of their best of 3 Western Division semifinal. The winner of this series will go on to face the Okotoks Dogs, who disposed of the Brooks Bombers in 2 straight. Yukamoto grounding out to second to start the game for the Gulls. 1-1 now. And that misses down. Yukamoto up on the count now, 2-1. And bounces this one down to second base. Andrechuk up with it and over. And a 3 up, 3 down inning for Levi Abbott and the Lethbridge Bulls. We are through 3 complete. We are all tied up at 1 with Lethbridge coming to bat. Well, there's a shot of that beautiful berm behind the Gulls dugout down the third base line. And a few fans there. And some fans in the stands. It's a decent crowd for a Saturday night here in Sylvan Lake on a night that kind of looked like it wasn't going to be very nice. It's actually turned out to be pretty decent. Maybe those fans are sitting at home going, you know what? We still have tickets to the game. We should go and try and catch the rest of the game. Yes, you should. Or turn on your TV, have FloCollege downloaded, and watch the broadcast here in the comfort of your home. You can do that too. Steven Andrechik will lead things off here. He's behind 2-0 and fouls this out of play. And Dolich delivers that 2-1 pitch outside to count 3-1 now on Andrechik. As Leroy Tavares is throwing now in the bullpen, so again, the leash is going to be short on each and every one of these guys tonight, as the playoffs mean you put personal things behind you and you do what you need to do for the team. And this is out to left field. Michael Quick slides over to his right and is there to make the catch for the first out. Just off the end of the bat there for Andrechik. Quick doesn't have to go too far. Makes the grab. Makes it look easy. Good job by the left fielder. That'll bring up the center fielder for the Bulls, Brennan McTavish, who flew out, or was forced out, I should say, as part of the easiest double play Cleary Simpson will ever turn by himself back in the third inning. And that's fouled down just off the glove of Simpson. He almost made the catch and then almost recovered enough to make the play over at first, but off the glove and the base hit there for McTavish. Unless they call it something else. I have a guest in my booth here, and I will get him to throw that headset on there, please, sir, and we'll have a little chat here as we work. Adonis Bernal, the catcher, who was part of that double play, he lined out to Simpson, and Simpson just had to make a quick little tag. And this is down to Anthony Gilbert. Over to second for once, and a little bump there, and Jaden Flores is going like, shouldn't there be some kind of call there? I guess there is. He's out. It's probably the only call. Yeah. I think that was an innocent play, in my opinion. Well, my guest is here, and maybe he's got a comment on it. Baseball operations guru Akil Samuel has joined me. Akil, what'd you think of that play?
Playoff baseball, and expect nothing less.
Okay.
It's the way it should be.
There you go.
But you're right, it was pretty innocent. I think if he wanted to take him out, he could have.
I think you're right. So one down, or two down, I should say, here in the top of the fourth inning. Mr. Samuel, were you down in Lethbridge yesterday for Mr. Tucker's 300th strikeout?
We were, yeah. We went down and got a chance to see Mr. Tucker get his 300th and just have a great outing. It was totally worth the trip.
Yeah. Now you talked about when we were before the game, and I saw you. You said he was outstanding. What did you see that just made you attach that assessment to his performance?
You know, it was just poise. Like in a game one of your playoffs, to have Tucker, a fourth-year player, come out there. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody else to have the ball in that situation. And, yeah, he proved that. I mean, his poise was unbelievable. You know, getting his spotting his fastball, getting off speed over. It was fun to watch.
This is out into shallow left field, and Michael Quick flies in, makes the grab, and the hit over at first base leads to nothing. So 4 up, 3 down. Gulls and Bulls are all tied at 1. Akil Samuel going to stick around for a moment there, and we'll talk a little bit more with the Gulls coming to bat. Well, there we go. Strikeout number 300 of his WCBL career for Josh Tucker. And then he added 4 more just to show you that the first 303 weren't any fluke kind of thing.
You know what? And that nasty curveball of his on the outside corner for 300th, perfect.
Yeah.
That was, it was good. And then, yeah, we were, see him out at first base there is good too.
Is he actually coaching first base or is he just hanging out?
Yeah, you never know with him. Left-handed pitchers, he's...
oh, there it is.
Yeah, he'll be on the outfield grass here in a minute. Just watch.
Jeez. Yeah. So you have seen him. We've seen him for 4 years now in a Gulls jersey, and we've seen a transformation from Josh Tucker from when he started to where he is right now. Agreed?
Absolutely. He's matured so much with us, and it's been great to watch the last 4 years. I think that first year, I think we can all agree the 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the radar gun was 95 to 97 some nights.
Yeah.
Was great, but maybe a little bit all over the place. And
there's a base hit by Cleary Simpson straight up the middle to start things off here against Levi Abbott in the top or bottom of the 4th inning. So, the 95-97, that's pretty cool.
Light up the radar gun, and I think Coach Matt Hape has just done a great job with him over the last few years, and just turned him into a pitcher. Like he's, from a thrower to a pitcher is my assessment anyways. Like being able to spot that fastball where he wants it and develop the other 2 pitches has been good. Like it's been good to watch, and tough outing in his very first one of the year, but it's just nice to see where he's come to even this year.
Well, he did touch upon this with pitching coach Matt Hape, and Matt Hape touched upon it as well, saying it was working with Josh was interesting in that he said, I've never seen a guy that I would give him an assignment kind of thing, and he would just do it to the letter. He would follow it religiously and didn't question it, just did it.
Yeah, and that's it's a good move. Listen to Coach Hape. He knows the game and knows pitching. So it's good that Tuck has connected with him and learned some things from him in the last 4 years. I think they make a great duo, those two. It's special to watch.
Yeah, and they've been together for quite a long time.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt coached him in the summer league before he got here, right?
Yep.
I believe it was the West Coast League.
I think Matt said I've been in with almost 6 years.
Right.
So, he knows Josh. And then here's the thing that really, really jumps off the page for me. Not only did he change from a thrower to a pitcher, but he also didn't pick up a baseball last year.
That's right.
And then he comes and does this.
No, that's right. It's that's just perseverance, and he's worked so hard this summer.
That ball gets away from Carter Clairhout over at first. Larry
third.
Simpson might be going all the way to third.
Yeah.
Oh, he might have pulled a hamstring there and rounding second base. Oh, no. And Rob Manke is out right away as Cleary Simpson is reaching back for that hamstring, and that is not a good sign right there. As I'm not sure exactly where he did it. It's probably right about here. Yeah, he just.
Man, that's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Been there. I think we've all been there.
And Cleary knows it right away. That's a tough break. He just came back from an injury. Now he's up walking around.
Yeah.
And he'll get the assessment from Rob Manka for sure as to, is it, Rob, I can stay in.
Yeah.
We don't have to read lips. We know what he's saying, right?
No baseball guy. Look at him.
Yeah. He's not.
No, that's they got to get him out of there, you would think.
Well, he's given it a try, but your assessment, Coach?
That's tough. And Coach Chatwood and Rob Manka and Wyatt and Matt do such a good job down there. Like, we're not just balancing, trying to win a playoff game here. He's going off to school in right away, I guess, right? The end of the month here. And, we can't be they manage a lot of things. There's a lot of factors that go into this decision right here.
Yeah, and they're having that debate right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if Cleary's going to win it.
I've blown a hammy like that before, and it's tough to, you got adrenaline going through you right now. You can think you can play through it. You probably can a little bit, but we've got a lot of playoffs here left to go. And like I said, he's off to Marshall, I believe. Is that right?
Marshall, and his sister's there.
What a cool story that is.
Yeah.
But I'm sure those guys would appreciate if we took it easy here.
Well, they're still debating. Cleary's still making his case. He's pleading to the jury right now. But the judge is down right here in the bottom right-hand corner. Yeah. I mean, this is the prosecutor, I guess, maybe. And there's no defense counsel.
Yeah. Jason's got trying to get somebody moving there.
Yeah. He wants,
Macris.
Aiden Macris is going to come in. So I think that's the end of the night for Cleary Simpson.
Aiden? I wonder if he's got a first base glove in his bag.
Well, he has played first this year.
That's right, at the beginning.
Yeah. So he might have to borrow Cleary's, I don't know, but that's a tough break for the young man. So they are going to make a change. Ron Shuchuk's writing something in his book.
Yeah.
And
24 for 21.
That'll be the end of the night for Cleary Simpson, who heads up play to get over to third after the base hit. An unfortunate circumstance for the Elnora native just down the road here from Sylvan Lake. But he's going to get worked on over there by one of the best in the business. And here's the play as the ball goes into foul territory. Simpson on his horse to get to third, and yeah, you just hate that little hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look good and never feels good, does it?
Yeah. And shout out to Rob and his crew right now. I mean, this is what we need him for right here. Is make sure that Cleary's ready to go for as soon as he can. And
yeah, and you're right. And one of the best in the province. In magic hands, Manka is what I always call him, because he just does things, and the players just rave about him.
Yeah.
As
know what? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Levi Abbott striking out Jaden Flores here. We still have a game going. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Rob's been with us since day one. I think this is his 5th year, and really become a part of our team here. It's been good.
He was telling me a story in the hallway. As you see the strikeout there of Jaden Flores for the first out. Anthony Gilbert steps in now to face Abbott. One down here, and base runner over at third in Aiden Macaris, or Macaris, I should say, and fouls that back. So Rob was telling me down in Lethbridge, he went down with the team.
Yeah.
And it was in the dugout, and he's looking, and he says, there's this fence there. He said, I'm going to stand behind the fence, but he said, I took a ball, and it can easily get through the bars in that fence. He says, so I put a pole there. He says, I've seen enough already this year. I don't need to see a ball come through here when I'm not looking.
Rob's always safety first. It's good trait to have.
Good trait to have. So Anthony Gilbert steps in, 0-2 the count on him. This young man had quite a game last night too, didn't he? 3 RBIs?
Yep, 3 RBIs. And, last night our defense, we've made 2 errors tonight, but last night it was the defense on the left side with him and Ty is going to be really good for us.
And he wields a pretty hot bat, too, and they're going to make the play at home, and that is going to allow Anthony Gilbert to get all the way to second and lays Aiden Macaris to score the go-ahead run here. in the bottom half of the fourth inning. So a little, not sure. Now you've played this game. Was that the play going home?
Absolutely, yeah. They were playing infield in there, and then we've got a contact play on. Wyatt's got a contact play on there where they're going no matter what, and that's why you have a contact play. You want to put pressure on the infield. See if you can. They got to make a perfect throw to get you out, right? So so good. We're tied 2 errors apiece with them now. So
a lot of twos on the board.
A lot of twos.
2 errors apiece. I've never heard that during a broadcast. Hey, we're tied. 2 mistakes each. Okay, but that's the nature of this game too. Is mistakes are going to be made.
Take care of the baseball. So
yeah,
it's what happens next. If you're the defense, you want the ball to come to you and make the next play. But if you're the offense, you want to make this hurt.
And that's what good teams do, is
that's
you
right.
capitalize on the mistakes made by the defense. And in this league, at this time, you're facing good teams.
That's right. That's right. See Brock hit something hard to left field here. It'd be good to see.
Giorena struck out back in the to lead things off in the second inning against not just any other pitcher. Levi Abbott is a solid right arm for the Lethbridge Bulls. They get 69 Ks on the season and 7 wins.
7 wins. He's their ace, probably one of the better ones in the league. And Lethbridge product, I believe, in the Legion program there, Vauxhall Academy.
Okay, look at you with all the information. You got the inside. I like that. Giorena, the count 2-1. He bounces this down towards Andrzejczyk over at second. He makes the throw over to Claerhout, and that is 1 out, or 2 outs. And that moves Anthony Gilbert over to third, with Michael Quick coming to bat. So now you've been obviously with this team from day one. The consistency of this baseball club with the 30-plus wins every year, MVPs or players that have gone on to other things, and I got to think this is 5 years. It's pretty good run for you guys, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and I think you used the right word there, consistency. Like, from the coaching, from having the same coaches here for 4 years and Jason for 5 years, and from the leadership team on down, even like some of our seasonal staff downstairs rolled over on it.
Yeah, well, an easy play there for Levi Abbott to bring the inning to a close, but not before the Sylvan Lake Gulls capitalize on a Lethbridge mistake and take a 2-1 lead as we go to the top of the 5th. Welcome back to WCBL playoff action. Sylvan Lake and Lethbridge. Gulls with a 2-1 lead. Josh Dolich on the mound. So far, 4 innings of work. Now, I'm going to put you into the pitching coach shoes. And if you're the pitching coach, how big a leash do you have for your starter and anybody else that comes in after that?
Right. I don't know. From, I guess, just my coaching experience, it would. I'm going after this game. Right, like I think we go all in on this one and take a day's rest before the next series starts. So I think you see if I've already got somebody up in the bullpen right now.
Okay.
But I think it's playoff baseball. Like, the leashes are shorter for sure, and
Nice play by Anthony
that's a
Gilbert.
great play.
Oh my goodness.
Make it look easy.
That
Smooth.
people, you have no idea how difficult that play is, I think.
Yeah. No, I just got done telling somebody our pitching and defense. I mean, the 2 errors are not indicative tonight, but our pitching and defense is going to carry us through this thing, and plays like that just make it look easy. It's good to see.
Yeah. So all hands on deck, as you said,
Yeah.
and that includes position players too. You think?
Yeah, I think it would. I think Coach Chatwood will look for any opportunity. Especially a chance to score a couple or something like that. If he can make a change here or there, he'll do that. It's like I say, it's playoff baseball right now, and we're trying to get after this one.
Now there has been a lineup change during the game here, and that is over at first base as Aiden Macaris came in for Cleary Simpson to run for him after he suffered what looked to be a leg injury. And they're working on him, but I think his night is done, obviously. And Macaris is over at first now, so you don't lose much in the way of bat.
That's right.
With this young man, and he has played some first base from what I understand.
That's right.
So,
I forgot he was there at the beginning of the year. I think we're good here.
You mean I remembered something you didn't?
That's right.
Oh my goodness! Alert the media! I remembered something. Yay! 3-1 the count here on Lee Matsuzaki, who got on an error by, I believe it was Anthony Gilbert, over at third, which didn't amount to anything at that time. It was closer to the bottom of or the top of the inning there. Will Turner was on base, and he scored the run on an error. Full count here on Matsuzaki with 1 down. Top of the 5th inning. Akil Samuel joining me in the booth here tonight, and kind of touching a lot of bases here with the game last night, the game tonight, obviously. I got to ask you this one, and you can say, Jim, no comment, or talk to my lawyer, or whatever, whatever you want. But I've talked to a lot of people off camera, players, coaches, even the umpires, and they all agree that this season should have been over last week. That that we should take a look as a league to bring this a little shorter, so guys can stay here for the entire session and not have to leave, because that's one of the things that it just irks me.
Yeah, that's been a debate in this league for a little while for sure, and honestly, a lot of summer collegiate leagues and a lot of minor pro and independent leagues as well. So it's trying to find that fine balance with the business side of things, and we had such a short summer here. We're trying to cram as much baseball as we can on.
I get that.
In it from the business side, and then the player side, and attaboy.
There's the former shortstop Josh Dolich making a play.
Yeah. So how's that for a politically correct answer? We're just going to leave it at that.
You know what? I didn't mean to throw you under the bus,
all
kind of thing,
good.
but I
All
think
good.
it's a discussion. It's a debate that should be had.
100%.
And not just on the surface. You should be diving a little deeper into what can we do, because the players are agreeing that it's hard for a guy to
100%.
finish a night and then the next morning he's driving 30 hours to his next destination because he has to get there to register for class.
And if we had Coach Chatwood up here right now, he'd give you his opinion on it, and it's different than mine for sure. But we're trying to find that balance in this league, and it gets debated and debated and debated, and we'll see what comes out of it. But we get it for sure, and especially the NCAA and JUCO and all those programs are changing so much that we do have to do something, I'm sure.
That is a good answer. 0-2 the count on Carter Clarehout. 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. 2-1 Gulls lead it here. Game 2 of the WCBL West Division semifinal between Lethbridge and Sylvan Lake. The Gulls with an 8-0 win last night down in Lethbridge. And if you're unaware of what's going on in the world of the WCBL and the Sylvan Lake Gulls, we had a game that went 1 inning, and then just got totally rained out. And then that game had to be played last night down in Lethbridge, which the Gulls won. So not having the home field advantage there kind of didn't hurt them at all, did it?
No, win that back, and then just having the 2 games back to back here is, I don't know, I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good. And just so everybody knows, like the inside out, like we have a call at, Lethbridge bus was leaving at 12 o'clock on Wednesday. So we have a call with Lethbridge and the umpires before and say, listen, the weather's not looking good, and it's, I got some influence on that for sure. So, it got them to come down, and it didn't work out on Wednesday. And the percentage is pretty good, actually, but that one didn't work out.
That one didn't work out, no.
Tonight it looks like it did. So we had the same call at 11, and nice to see the sun again. Holy moly.
I know. I was saying the script was flipped there as Tai Yukimoto hauls that pop-up from Carter Clairhout over at short to bring the inning to a close. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Josh Dolich. Maybe his last inning. We don't know. We'll find out. But we are through 4.5. Gulls are coming to bat. Bottom of the 5th inning, Gulls with a 2-1 lead. Welcome back to WCBL playoff baseball action here on FloCollege. Jim Claggett here, along with the rest of the crew. Calvin, Martin, Mitch, the other Mitch, Blake, and anybody that wants to come into the room. That door's open. Well, not technically, it's unlocked. Let's put it that way. 1-1 the count here on Trip Ray, who will lead things off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Gulls with a run in the 1st and a run in the 4th. And they have a 2-1 lead on Levi Abbott and the Lethbridge Bulls, who do not want to leave here tonight. Well, I guess they probably will. They might drive back home if they win. And a swing and a miss there by Trip Ray for the first out. Another strikeout by Levi Abbott, who's got 5 on the evening. And I look on the other side of the coin, and there's not a K up on the fence yet for Josh Dolich and the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Let's bring up Simon Baker, who will lead things on or get things going here in the 5th. And Baker struck out to start off the 3rd inning. And it looks like the night is done for Josh Dolich, as I believe that's Leroy Tavares warming up in the bullpen as Baker takes a mighty cut at that one. And there is Mr. Leroy Tavares, another Texas native, getting set to take the mound here. So for the Bulls, I mean, Josh Dolich did a fine job giving up just the 1 run on 3 hits. Now they're going to face Leroy Tavares, who's just as difficult to hit off of. And Baker brings the count back to 2-2 with Kyle Lewis on deck. Bottom of the fifth inning, 2-1, Gulls lead it. And a called third strike for Simon Baker. So that's back-to-back strikeouts for the young man from Cochrane. That's the second out of the inning. And another strikeout for Levi Abbott, who, as advertised, one of the best pitchers in the WCBL. Young man from Lethbridge, Alberta. Homegrown talent right there on the mound, folks. And Kyle Lewis steps in with 2 out and is quickly behind 0-2. And this being playoff baseball, every run is valuable. Whether it comes in the first inning, the fourth inning, the seventh inning, eighth inning, whatever. It doesn't matter because you never know what the difference is going to be, especially with the way pitching is. You're going to see guys a little longer than you might see them, especially guys of the caliber of a Josh Dolich or a Levi Abbott or a Josh Tucker for that matter. Full count now on Kyle Lewis as he battles back from being down 0-2. The 3-2 pitch. And Kyle Lewis was all ready to go down to first base. And
come on, Blue!
Here's the pitch. Well, you know what? That was too close to be watching, I think. So a 3-strikeout inning for Levi Abbott brings the fifth to a close. 2-1 Gulls lead it. We're headed to the 6th. Leroy Tavares on the mound from Snyder, Texas, Texas Southern University. And this man is animated, and he's confident, and he's relaxed, and he is ready to roll against the Lethbridge Bulls here. He'll face the designated hitter, Jack Kaliski, the number 4 batter in the Bulls lineup. And fouls off the first pitch at 86. which is not Leroy's fastball. It'll be up around 92, 93 for the most part. And 0-2 the count. And he works fast, does Leroy. He's like, give me the sign, give me the ball. I'm ready to go. The 0-2 pitch to Jack Kaliski. And there's the first K to go up on the fence. As the K-man's going, I got to get up now. I'm cramping up after 5 innings of no strikeouts. But there's the strikeout for Leroy Tavares as he gets the call on that one. And one down, and he'll face the second baseman, Steven Andrechik, who is 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts, one to left, one to center. Top of the 6th inning, 2-1 Sylvan Lake. Each team with 3 base hits. A 2-0 count on Andrechik. And he pops the glove to that pitch, but it misses up high. 3-0 the count now. Yeah, more action in the bullpen, of course, just like Akil Samuel told me. All hands on deck, and a 4-pitch walk given up to Steve Andrechik to put a man on base for the Lethbridge Bulls. First baseman over there, Aiden Macaris, who unfortunately came in for Cleary Simpson after a play where Simpson rounded second and then felt something go in his leg. And did get to third base, but after being discussed and observed and talked to, the coaches decided it was best to have Cleary Simpson step out of the game. Swing and a miss there by Andrechik. The count now 1-1 with 1 down. Adonis Bernal is on deck. And Tavares in with a strike to go ahead 1-2. And you'll see probably the Lethbridge players are on to this. They'll step out of that batter's box to kind of throw the rhythm off of Leroy Tavares. And he gets the slow hopping ground ball down to Macaris over at first, who steps on the bag. And that's the second out. So a good pitch by Macaris, or by Tavares, as he induces the simple ground ball. And the out over at first by Aiden Macaris, who's in the game now, as we mentioned, for Cleary Simpson, who suffered some sort of a leg injury. Hopefully it's not serious. He is coming back from a leg injury, a lower leg injury. So Andrechik over at second now on that sacrifice, but this is out to left field. Michael Quick comes in a couple of steps, makes the grab, and a simple inning for Leroy Tavares as he took over from Josh Dolich here in the 6th. No runs on no hits, 1 man left on base, 5.5 in the books, folks, and the Gulls are coming to bat. Well, you won't take a guy out of a game who's got 6 strikeouts and has given up 2 runs and 3 hits. So Levi Abbott still in here working inning number 6. But there is a little bit of action over in the Bulls bullpen, or the Bulls pen. But when you got a guy like this on the mound, you ride him until he can't be ridden anymore. And Tai Yukimoto, the top of the order, will lead things off. He's 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs to the right side of the diamond into the glove of Steven Andrechik. And Abbott resets, get the signs again, and Yukimoto steps out to take a little breath as well. That bounces before home plate. The count 1-1. A nice evening in central Alberta here on a Friday. 1-2 the count on Tai Yukimoto, the resident Hawaiian for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And Yukimoto rips this down the right field line, and that is going to go right into the corner. This could be easily a double here, and it is a stand-up double to lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Tai Yukimoto doing what he does so well. Gets a bat on the ball and gives the Gulls a base runner over at second. We also bring up, there's Tai Yukimoto over at second, getting his sliding glove on. He's ready to go. And he could be a threat to steal third base as well. You got a powerful bat at the base, at the plate though. That is Aiden Nakaris, who has come in for Cleary Simpson over at first base after Simpson hurt his leg and was removed from the game. Nakaris with his first at bat here against Levi Abbott. He's showing bunt all the way. He's not hiding it, and he bounces this back off the screen. And he's getting the signals from head coach Jason Chatwood. His final season as head coach, by the way, as he has decided to step away from that duty. And a good bunt there by Aiden Nakaris. Carter Clairhout had thoughts of playing that ball over to third to get Yukimoto. Instead, he plays at the first and then had to hurry the throw and pulls the second baseman Andrechik off the bag. As there he goes, he looks at third. Okay, nope. I got to get the first. Nope. And the Gulls have something going here with nobody out. And some warming up going on over in the Bulls bullpen. And of course I don't have him on my list. Where's Cale Clark when I need him? But I will find this guy. No, I've got Calvin Bellows in my ear. So Brandon Carter is warming up over in the bullpen for the Lethbridge Bulls. Thank you, Calvin. Runners on first and third for the Gulls as Jaden Flores steps in. So this situation couldn't be any more dangerous for Levi Abbott, as he's got 2 base runners, nobody out, a 2-1 game, and he's got one of the top hitters in the WCBL in Jaden Flores stepping in to face him, and then a red-hot pitcher or hitter in Anthony Gilbert on deck. So how do you like your situations? Intense, I guess. So the bunt worked, and extra bonus because they didn't get him out. And they're asking Jaden Flores to lay down a bunt too, as they maybe had a little squeeze play going on there with Yukamoto at third. This is where you manufacture runs. It's playoff time in close, tight games like we got right here. The Gulls with advancing on the line. The Bulls with going home on the line. And the bunt is still on as Flores sends this foul. So he's behind 0-2 now. As the Gulls were trying to squeeze one in for a little insurance here with a 2-1 edge, but in this league, sometimes that holds up, sometimes it's not even close. So 0-2 pitch with nobody down. And Flores now with the bunt probably taken off. And he watches that pitch going outside. And I'm sure Jaden Flores, who's had a few calls go against him in the last few games, is a little nervous letting one that's close go by. And hopes he gets the call. So 1-2 the count now on the Gulls' second baseman. And a throw over to first, not the best move, I'm sure, from Levi Abbott. It was more of a, let's just make sure you guys know I know you know. So the game within the game underway here with nobody out and a 1-2 count on Flores. He sends this out to deep right field. That might get over the head of Lee Matsasaki. That could score, well, one for sure, and and Aiden Macaris blows a tire going around third base, so that would have been a 2-run. He's thinking, oh my goodness, I had it. Yeah. He's going, thanks, J Flo. Appreciate it. I should have had a second RBI there. As he's watching that play all the way as is Macaris, and he takes off immediately for third base. And then he gets 1, 2, and boop, the grass monster got him. But a run scores. Tai Yukamoto easily trots in. Macaris gets over to third, and Flores over to second on the RBI double. And that might be the end of the night, and it is for Levi Abbott. He leaves giving up 3 runs on 5 hits. That'll bring on Brandon Carter to take over for Abbott, who pitched a fine game and gets the congratulations. He looks hurt almost. He's got a pained look on his face. But anyway, we got a pitcher warming up. We'll take a break and be back with the rest of the bottom of the 6th. There's your new pitcher for the Lethbridge Bulls, Brandon Carter, from down Louisiana way. Born on the Bayou. Maybe not. That's the only song reference I can throw out there. Galvin Bellows threw one at me, and I have no idea who he was talking about. So, and Anthony Gilbert steps in with base runners on second and third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. This is an opportunity for the Sylvan Lake Gulls to blow this wide open. As Anthony Gilbert with a couple of base hits tonight, or at least one base hit. He did get on in an error to the shortstop, but he's hit the ball solid. And he had a 3 RBI night last night down in an 8-0 win in Lethbridge. So you couldn't ask for a better situation if you're a Gulls fan. A 1-1 pitch from Carter. And that is in for a strike. 1-2 now on Anthony Gilbert, who is probably just looking to get the bat on the ball and get it somewhere deep into the outfield, because that'll score another run. As Aiden Macaris is over at third. Jaden Flores, the base runner, at second. And that's down the opposite side of the diamond. And Carter Clairhout makes a really good play over at first to keep Macaris at third and record the first out. A good defensive play by Carter Clairhout as he lays up for that one. Good work there by the Red Deer native. He's a little pumped up. Brock Tiarina, another dangerous bat, the designated hitter, although he's 0 for 2 tonight. But he is going to be hit for by, oh no, they're going to walk him. Well, yeah, that's the strategy. Load the bases, bring the infield in a bit, cut off the run at home as Tiarina gets the intentional walk. And left fielder Michael Quick, who is 0 for 2 on the night, steps in to face Brandon Carter. So you load the bases, but then you've got the left-hander up against the righty matchup, which some pitchers, it doesn't bother them. Others, they prefer to throw righty-righty and lefty-lefty, that kind of thing. But bases loaded, 1 down. Gulls with a 3-1 lead, looking to pad that lead right now. That misses up high, 2-0 now. And a tough situation for Brandon Carter to come into. But if these guys want to make a career out of playing baseball, you're going to be coming into situations where it's not served up on a platter for you. It's a little dicey. Oh, a 3-0 count now on Michael Quick, who's showing some patience, and why not? The guy has just come into the game. I don't even think he threw a pitch to Tiarina. So this is essentially his first batter that he's facing. And Quick taking all the way, making him throw a strike, and he does. The count now 3-1. Probably going to be taking on this one as well, I would think. But I'm not the coach, and I'm not the batter. A 3-1 pitch, and that's a called strike on the outside. As Brandon Carter gets the benefit of that call. 3-2 now on Michael Quick, so this is the payoff pitch with bases loaded. Oh, and a called third strike on Michael Quick. Here's the play. And that was a good pitch by Brandon Carter. to get the strikeout and the second out for the Lethbridge Bulls. That'll bring up Trip Ray with the bases loaded. And 2 down. And he swings at the first pitch he sees from Brandon Carter. So the West semifinal game 2, the Gulls with a 1-0 lead in the series and a 3-1 lead here in game 2. Trying to make it more as the runners will be going on the crack of the bat. And that puts him down 0-2. And Trip Ray now has to be a little defensive with his swing now, with an 0-2 count. And he stays alive by fouling that back. Tough situation for both the Sylvan batter in Trip Ray and the pitcher for Lethbridge in Brandon Carter. Carter came in with bases loaded, or 2 men on, and then he intentionally walked Brock Tiarina to load the bases, and he's got a strikeout to get that second out. And the count now 1-2. The fans are into this one. They're on the edge of their seat. I'm on the edge of my seat. And that is into the glove of Carter Clairhout. He flips it over to Brandon Carter, and they call him safe over at first. And now they throw the ball away. And 2 more runs are going to score, as a mistake over at first is going to cost the Lethbridge Bulls. As good hustle down the line by Trip Ray. And a difficult play by Steven Andrechik. Watch this now. Carter Clairhout makes a good stop here. And he's going to have to flip it to the pitcher. And the pitcher misses the bag. And Trip Ray goes, yeah, I'm safe. He called himself safe. And then Brandon Carter throws the ball away over at third, and 2 more runs score on this play. So the Gulls have themselves a 6-1 lead now after a lot of things that went on there. So that cleared the bases. Trip Ray over at second base now, and Simon Baker steps in. just that's how quickly things can turn in a baseball game, folks. Simple as that. A great play there by Carter Clairhout, and just a misjudgment by Brandon Carter getting his foot on the bag, and he missed it. I mean, I don't have 20/20 vision, folks, I guarantee you, and I could see it from here, looking at the actual bag, not on the replay. I do have that advantage too. Well, a tense situation. I mean, it started off with a Tai Yukamoto double, and then an error on the first baseman, Carter Clairhout, allowed Aiden Macaris to get on base. And then a double by Jaden Flores scored 1, should have scored 2. As Macaris blew a tire coming around third. A 3-0 count here on Simon Baker, and he's taking all the way. 3-1 now. And then an intentional walk to Brock Tiarina, loaded the bases. And Michael Quick struck out, and then Trip Ray with a ground ball. A difficult play for first baseman Clairhout, but the pitcher Carter on the relay misses the bag and then tries to make up for it by catching the runner over at third and overthrows third, and 2 more runs scored. So a 4-run sixth inning for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Have them up 6-1 now in game 2 of the WCBL playoff. And Simon Baker with a full count now. Now you're all up to date, folks. And Brandon Carter gets the strikeout, but the Sylvan Lake Gulls score 4 times here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They now have a 6-1 lead over the Lethbridge Bulls, and Brandon Carter not feeling very good. He's yelling into his glove because he's not feeling good about that play. Anyway, we are through 6 complete. 6-1 Gulls. Lethbridge coming to bat. Mr. Leroy Tavares on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, number 34, having a bit of a break since the last time he came in. And that was in the 6th inning, taking over for Josh Dolich. And Tavares will face the 8, 9, and number 1 hitters in the Bulls lineup. That's Will Kerner, J.C. Spinoza, and then the top of the order, Bernie Sakaris. So he's got a 6-1 lead to work with. That doesn't change his demeanor. He's all business. And he's up 1-2 on Will Turner, the third baseman, who scored the first run of the game for the Bulls, or the only run of the game in the 3rd inning. Got on a walk. They count even at 2-2. Top of the 7th inning, 6-1 Sylvan Lake. I think Garrett Lundmark still warming up in the Gulls bullpen, so maybe 2 innings, or is that Mason Little? No, that's Garrett Lundmark. Full count. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Tavares. An excellent pitch that fools Will Turner. And they record the first out here. That will bring up J.C. Spinoza, the shortstop for the Lethbridge Bulls, with 1 down. And he promptly hits the first pitch he sees. out into center field for a base hit. That'll bring up the top of the order, Bernie Sakaris, the leadoff hitter, as you see the base hit by Espinosa off of Leroy Tavares.
Left fielder, number 1, Bernie Sakaris.
So 6-1 Sylvan Lake. Here in game 2 of the Western Canadian Baseball League West Division semifinal. The winner of this series takes on the Okotoks Dogs. That's fouled off the screen. In other series, the Regina Red Sox upsetting the Medicine Hat Mavericks. And then the Moose Jaw, sorry, I'm watching the play and I'm trying to, thinking, what are they doing over here? Okay. The Moose Jaw Miller Express upsetting Saskatoon in game 1, and then the Berries came back and avenged that loss. Game 3 was to go today in Saskatoon, but there was a lot of rain coming down most of the day in Saskatoon, and unfortunately, that is kind of the theme for the WCBL this year. If it isn't rain delaying games, it's forest fire smoke. And Jason Chatwood, I like how he does this. Usually the ball boy or ball girl brings the baseballs out to the umpire. And every so often you'll see Coach Chatwood bring them out because he wants to say something to the ump within the context of, I'm just delivering baseballs to you. But by the way, now that I have your attention, and a swing and a miss there as Leroy Tavares just winds up and fires 192 past Bernie Sakaris. High fastball right up there, and Sakaris is looking good pitch. He tips his hat. He goes, yep, that was a good pitch. You got me. Strikeout number 3 on the night, 2 in this inning for Leroy Tavares. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Lee Matsuzaki. That misses down low. 2 out here. Top of the 7th. Gulls 6 runs on 5 hits. The Bulls 1 run on 4 hits. The Bulls have made, according to that board, 5 errors tonight. Five errors. You can't win a lot of baseball games when you keep giving good teams opportunities to score runs. And Leroy Tavares is feeling it now. He's got that little smile on his face. He's got that grin. It's like, yeah. Watch what I'm going to throw you now, buddy. As he's got Matsuzaki guessing what's coming at me this time. And the base runner is off. Trip Ray with a throw down to second, and he comes off the bag. Unfortunate slide there by J.C. Spinoza, and just an excellent play. And this is local knowledge, is what this is. But there's the strikeouts by Leroy Tavares, and he just a little tip of the hat by Spinoza, and we are through 6, and Gulls coming to bat. Now this is what I call local knowledge here. At the end of this play, Trip Ray, Tai Yukamoto, and then he just watches because he knows that sometimes guys on the artificial turf, if it's a little bit slick, they will slide past that bag, and he hung in there. Here we got a new pitcher now taking over from Brandon Carter, is number 11. That is Donovan Gamez. San Antonio, Texas. We've seen this young man before. And I believe he throws a lot of off-speed stuff, if my memory serves me correctly. Sometimes my memory doesn't serve me at all, but Kyle Lewis will start things off here in the bottom of the seventh inning. In the bottom of the sixth, the Gulls sent 8 batters to the plate, scored 4 times, and they only had 2 hits. There was 2 errors on 1 play, both by the pitcher, Brandon Carter, as he missed the bag for an out over at first, and then tried to recoup by getting a base runner over at third and over through third. And that cost him 2 more runs and his evening of pitching, from what I can see. As Gamez comes in facing Kyle Lewis, and count 1-1 now on the Gulls center fielder. 0 for 2 on the night. Ground out to first and a strikeout. The 1-2 pitch, foul back. Tai Yukamoto, the hitter on deck. So some history made in the WCBL this week, and some history being made in Major League Baseball this weekend. Folks, if you haven't heard any of this, I'll fill you in a moment here. That misses up high. For the first time in Major League Baseball history, there will be a female umpire calling balls and strikes tomorrow or Sunday, but she's working the bases in the doubleheader between the Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves. And that is Jen Powell. Now, female umpires have called games in Major League Baseball, but in spring training. So this is the first regular season opportunity for this young lady, and she is going to be the torchbearer for all young ladies who ever want to get into this industry. And reading some of the articles about Jen Powell, she's the real deal. Apparently she is a well-respected and has all the tools, as that's fouled out of play. Kyle Lewis staying alive here with 7 pitches so far against the new pitcher, Donovan Gamez. So there you go. History in the WCBL with Josh Tucker and his 300th strikeout in his WCBL career. And it's not WCBL history. There's guys I'm sure that have more strikeouts. And speaking of which, Kyle Lewis gets sit down by Gamez for the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the 7th. Ties him up inside with the high fastball. That'll bring up Tai Yukamoto. Yukamoto started things off. Had a nice double in the top of the 6th inning, and then came around and scored. Jaden Flores' double. One and one the count now. That bounces low. 2-1 now. Hayden Macaris is on deck. That misses up high, 3-1 now. Yukimoto showing his patience and his good eye at the plate. And a called strike there on Yukimoto on the outside corner. To count now full on the Gulls shortstop, who's 1 for 3 on the night. And he draws the walk to keep the 7th inning going for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And bringing up Aiden Macaris. As Yukimoto trots down to first and takes his place over there. So Macaris in his first at bat hit one in the gap. A great play by Carter Clairhout over at first, flipped it over to the pitcher Brandon Carter, who missed the bag with his foot, allowing Macaris to remain on base. And that just started the ball rolling as the Gulls scored 4 runs in that inning. Oh, Macaris, I'm sorry, that error was on the first baseman, Carter Clairhout. That's true. Can't read my own notes. 0-2 the count. With 1 down and the base runner Yukimoto over at first. And a called third strike as Macaris is caught looking. Here's the throw, there's the pitch, and that's the second out of the inning.
Now batting number 7, Jaden Flores.
This is Jaden Flores, who slammed a double out to right center field over the head of the right fielder, Matt Sasaki. Could have had 2 RBIs, got 1 for sure, but the second RBI was Aiden Macaris, who was rounding third, and the turf monster got him rounding third as Yukimoto takes off for second, and Adonis Bernal got it out of his glove and then almost dropped the ball. And he said, I probably could have had him. Yeah, most catchers think that anyway. But Yukimoto with a stolen base puts himself into scoring position with 2 down and a 1-1 count on Jaden Flores. Couple of base hits tonight for Flores and an RBI. Made a couple of good defensive plays. And that ball gets away from Bernal. So Yukimoto is now over at third base. And just the execution by the Lethbridge Bulls is off tonight, and that'll cost you in this league. Teams are good enough to take advantage of that kind of stuff. And I'm not sure what home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk was doing, but I guess it must be a signal for the umpires. Looked like he was calling for a fair catch. And Flores with a good cut at that one. Count now 2-2. a strikeout there from Gomez on Flores as he strikes out the side and keeps the score 6-1 Sylvan Lake. We are headed to the 8th. So pitcher number 3 for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. This is Garrett Lundmark taking over from Leroy Tavares, who took over from the starter, Josh Dolich. So we're not done with pitching changes, I'm sure, because even though we are a 6-1 lead and into the 8th inning, there is still some warming up going up in the bullpen. I think that's Kai Rempel maybe on the mound. Or Mickey McClaskey. So it might be just a matter of getting somebody loose just in case, or getting somebody loose. There's Mr. McClaskey. Always smiling. Well, usually smiling. And a swing and a miss there, 1-2 count. Matsusaki, the right fielder, he got on an error to Anthony Gilbert back in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Lundmark comes in and Trip Ray. Already making the throw down to third base before the signal was given by home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk. Watch this. And it's like, oh yeah, that's a strike. That's a strike in my book. And there you go, the signal. Now he may be, we're not hearing this. He may be saying strike and then doing the motion a little bit later. I think. I'm going to ask Trip that. And this is one hopper right back to Garrett Lundmark. He lobs it over to first base. And that's 2 down for the Sylvan Lake Gulls here in the top of the 8th inning. So that may be what's happening. But I'm going to have to ask. Because if it isn't, and that's not a strike, and you fired the ball down to third, the umpire is going to say, I'm going to remember you when you show up at the bat, showing me up like that. 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Garrett Lundmark from Spokane, Washington. And a base hit there by Jack Kaliski, the designated hitter, to keep this inning going for the Lethbridge Bulls. And they need everything that they can draw from their position players like Jack Kaliski and Steven Andrzejczyk, Brendan McTavish, all these guys. If the Bulls want to continue this season. The Gulls with a 6-1 lead and a 1-0 series lead. And Garrett Lundmark, the ball's in his hand to get out of the 8th inning, get the Gulls to within 3 outs of advancing to the Okotoks Dogs building on Sunday. I think that's when the game is supposed to be. Might be Saturday. It is Sunday, I'm just told. Yeah, it makes sense, because if this game was to be won by Lethbridge, then we would have game 3 tomorrow here in Sylvan Lake. So 2-1 count on Steven Andrzejczyk. And that misses outside, evens the count. Jack Kaliski, the base runner over at first, the designated hitter. And this is well hit, but and Kyle Lewis lost that in the lights. He took a few steps in and then put his hands out. And Jack Kaliski scores all the way from first base on that 2-out fly ball, which looked like to be a routine fly ball out to center field. And look there, Kyle Lewis goes, oh, wait a minute, I don't see it. Where did it go? And it was way over to his right. So an error on the center fielder, Kyle Lewis, and that'll bring up Brendan McTavish with a base runner over at third now. So the Bulls not done yet. Well, Garrett Lundmark has to just compose himself. I mean, there's nothing he could have done about that. And Kyle Lewis is thinking, well, I lost the ball in the lights. It happens, especially at this time of night when the sun has just gone behind the clouds. The lights have just have been on for a little bit, but not really impacting things. And now you're kind of that dusk sort of thing. And yeah, not easy to see, folks. That misses inside. 2-1 now on Brendan McTavish, who's been on base 2 out of the 3 times at bat. The Bulls trying to make a comeback here. And Garrett Lundmark has to put a lid on it right here in the 8th inning with the base runner over at third. 2-2 count and 2 out. And that paints the inside corner. And Garrett Lundmark just walks off the mound saying, there you go. I got you. I got you, Kyle Lewis. I got your back. He helped him out. So 1 run on the mistake there, and Garrett Lundmark getting the fist bumps and the high fives from his teammates. We are going to the bottom of the 8th. Gulls with a 6-2 lead. Well, another pitcher for the Lethbridge Bulls on the mound. Having a little discussion with Adonis Burnell is a young man from Vancouver, BC, Lucas Huynh. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Anthony Gilbert. A 6-2 Gulls lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Gulls looking for maybe a little more insurance. A 4-run lead is not bad, but you just never know in this league. And as we saw in that last inning, an innocent fly ball out to center field. And Kyle Lewis thought he saw it and then didn't see it, and it was nowhere near where he thought it was. And that happens in this dusk light, that kind of stuff. Of course, I grew up in an era where we didn't have a lot of night games. All our baseball games were in the daytime because most of the parks we played in didn't have any facilities for lights. And the first time I played in a game at night, that took some adjusting, folks. For me, at least. And I'm sure it does for these guys, too. Two and two the count on Anthony Gilbert. And a called third strike. Sits down the Gulls' third baseman. That'll bring up Brock Tiarina, who was intentionally walked back in the 6th inning. He was the 4th run to come across the plate in that 6th inning. And that misses outside for ball 1. Two and 0 the count on Brock Tiarina, the designated hitter tonight. And a called strike there. And the umpires in the crowd are not happy with that. So this is the only game going on tonight in the WCBL. As we mentioned earlier, the game between Moose Jaw and Saskatoon was postponed because of the weather, which was kind of the theme of this, the WCBL's version of Noah's Ark. 40 days and 40 nights of rain. And it does seem like we've had rain for almost every day that we've at some point in time, either before the game, during the game, or after the game. It just seems like there's something happening. Full count on Tiarina. As he gently fouls that back and shakes his head. Looks around. Okay. Why did I swing at that one? But the count full. Michael Quick is on deck. And Tiarina jogs down to first base, keeping an eye on where that ball went and seeing how fast Adonis Burnell got back to it. He had the thoughts of going to second base. But he draws the walk, and that'll bring up Michael Quick, who was 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts.
The left fielder, number 44, Michael Quick.
First pitch is a ball to Quick. Gulls scoring 1 in the first, 1 in the 4th, and then 4 in the 6th inning. And that has given them a 6-2 cushion over the Lethbridge Bulls, with their season on the line coming up in the top of the 9th inning, they'll be at least 4 runs behind. And there are 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up in that top of the 9th. And Quick sends this to short, and a nice play by Andrechik as he slides over, makes the play, stands up, makes the throw over to the second or to the shortstop. Look at this play. This is nice. This is slick. Like just boom and up and over, and they almost turned the double play, but a very speedy Michael Quick, no pun intended, that's his name, and he keeps the inning alive. And that'll bring up Trip Ray, who was at the plate when all this happened back in the 6th inning with a play over at first, and just made a mess of things for the Lethbridge Bulls as 3 runs came in on all that mess. And Trip Ray all of a sudden down 0-2, and he has to take a little walk out of the batter's box to gather himself to get back in there for the 0-2 count. And he fouls that off, and I think he might have broke his bat. And Aiden Macaris is out there to hand him somebody's bat. And I think Trip Ray had 3 bats shipped up to him earlier this year by his parents down in Memphis. I'm not sure if he's got just 2 left, or that was number 3, or this is number 3 in his hands. We don't know. 1-2 the count on Trip Ray. Simon Baker on deck, and the base runner Michael Quick over at first. That misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. A 4-run lead for the Sylvan Lake Gulls here in the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to close out this WCBL series with the Lethbridge Bulls. And Trip Ray knew that one. He said, yeah, that's a strike. And he sits down. So the Gulls don't score anything here in the 8th inning. They will take that 4-run lead to the top of the 9th inning, as the Lethbridge Bulls are down to their last 3 outs of their WCBL season. Well, there you go. Mickey McClaskey, as you see on the Jumbotron, and the Gulls sign. A beautiful look at the park. Great move there, Martin. Good job, guys. Love that view. Mickey McClaskey will close this out for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and at least that's his intention. Of course, the Lethbridge Bulls have something else in their mind. But Mickey from Lake Oswego, Oregon. He goes down to Gonzaga University. And he was one of my co-readers along with Kai Rempel when we went over to the Sylvan Lake Library and had a nice day reading books to the young men and women and of the future here in central Alberta, including little Noah. He's a little guy, and every time I see him here, he puts his hand out. He wants to give me the fist bump because he was right in the front row, and his grandma and grandpa are here, or his grandpa is here most of the time, Jeff. And shout out to them. They're good fans and good supporters of the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and so is Noah. I think he's got every Gulls hat that you can possibly get. Attaboy Noah. So Adonis Bernal, Will Turner, and J.C. Spinoza are the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to face Mickey McClaskey, who can top the radar gun at about 95, 96. Although I think during that reading at the library, the young guys were asking, how fast do these guys throw? And I made the mistake of saying, well, Mickey is in around 92, 93, and he goes, fly ball, and this time a little bit of a sarcastic round of applause and a cheer by the crowd as Kyle Lewis keeps his eye on this one the whole time and sees it all the way. They're not going to let him forget that one, I guess. And McClaskey, by the way, he said, Jim, you were there when I hit 96. I probably was. So there's 96 on the board, right on cue. Oh, Mickey, you keep rubbing it in on me, don't you? Yeah, he's just to make his point. He says, yeah, that was no fluke. Will Turner steps in now. And he was going to offer up at that one, but he holds back, and McClaskey has to reset. 2-1 the count. One down at the top of the ninth. 6-2 Sylvan Lake. And this is out into foul territory, and Aiden Macaris with one absolutely fantastic play over in foul territory near the fence. Folks, you got to watch. If you had turned your head for a minute to check your watch or your phone or something, watch this. He goes a long way, dodges the umpire, puts out that glove, and then boom, boom, and I'm right there. Yeah, I got the ball. An excellent play by Aiden Macaris. Well done, 24. One and one the count. So Noah's grandparents, thanks Rob Fung, Kim and Jeff Falls. And Noah's he's got personality plus, this young man. Loves the Sylvan Lake Gulls, loves baseball. He's always got his catcher's outfit and playing catch over by the Gulls dugout. He just loves it. 2-1 the count on J.C. Spinoza. And the Lethbridge Bulls are down to their last strike in their WCBL season for 2025. And Mickey McClaskey is getting the Mickey McClapsky here. A slow clap, and it's speeding up, and he's looking for the strikeout to put an exclamation point on this series. And he does. 96 miles per hour. And he is amped up as Mickey McClaskey. What a way to finish it off. And he gave a little bark towards the Lethbridge Bulls dugout. And the Bulls took exception to that, and cooler heads need to prevail. He was just a little amped up, folks. Let's not get all twisted about it. As the coaches will come over and have a little handshake and forget all about what just happened there after the end of the game. As McCloskey gave a little, maybe there's some history there. We don't know. But anyways, the game is over. The Gulls posting a 6-2 win over the Lethbridge Bulls, a 2-game sweep here in the playoffs. And the Gulls will go on to meet the Okotoks Dogs. And our player of the game for the Sylvan Lake Gulls tonight is going to be down at the Gulls logo with our in-house announcer, the man who does the interviews with our player of the game, Jaden Flores. And we'll turn it over to none other than Jared Waldo.
Home plate with Jared Waldo.
Thank you very much, Joe. Standing here with tonight's EG Auctions player of the game, number 7, Jaden Flores. Jaden, big game last night in Lethbridge. Tonight you're back home, you close it out, you advance to the next round. Just talk about what you're feeling right now with this team.
The team's doing great, we're swinging great, and hopefully we can keep it going. And thank you to all the fans, the energy was great.
So you may or may not be aware, I'm sure there's been a lot of chatter. We're moving on to the next round, and as we've seen over the last few years, Sylvan Lake, Okotoks, West Final is always a battle. You've played the Dogs all season long. Is this the year that the Gulls conquer the Dogs?
Yes, sir, this is the year. Keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to be in good hands.
Well, congratulations on the win, advancing to the next round. Celebrate and enjoy tonight. We'll see you in the next round. Player of the game.
Well, there you heard it from Jaden Flores, making not the prediction, but a prediction. This is the year. They're going to do it. He put it out there, and why not? These guys have a lot of confidence. They're playing very well, and they showed it tonight. There's a base run scored by Jaden Flores, and you got Clary Simpson making one of those easy double plays, and a broken bat. Tai Yukamoto doing his thing, and the Gulls just capitalizing on mistakes by, and there's Statman. Oh, that was a close race. Then this is where things fell apart for the Lethbridge Bulls on that play, and Jaden Macker is blowing a tire going around third and having a good chuckle, and then Brock Tiarina scoring what turned out to be the 6th run of the night for the Gulls, on the 4th one on the inning. And then Mickey McCloskey putting the exclamation point on the 6-2 win for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. They move on to face the Okotoks Dogs. We'll have that for you on Monday.